Hello, the internet! It is Saturday, the 26th of October, 2024, and welcome back to the channel. Has it really been that long? It's October already? What happened to August, September, and most of October? Oh, that's right. I was away live streaming, driving through this beautiful country, sharing it with you lovely yahoos. And now here I am back for the first time streaming from the regulation. I call it regulation. It's not really anything regular about it, but situated at home. And yeah, I guess I've taken a few weeks to myself. I've been back now for a total of 3 weeks, I think. Yeah, I'd say 3 weeks. And first of all, I was going to stream when I got back immediately. And then I took a week to myself. And then I took another week. And the next thing I knew, I was like, no, I'm taking another week. And so it just kind of extended itself. Got cozy, got comfortable. Just getting back into the routine of things, I suppose, is where I was going. Yo, Dunsty, how you doing, man? Hey, Gibbs, good to see you back. Thank you, man. Yeah, this is a YouTube stream as well. So I did want to do a Beam stream. However, a couple of things about Beam, if we could just sort of talk about that just quickly. Beam, it doesn't look like you can set a stream to grab an existing YouTube feed. I've said that all wrong. It doesn't look like you can set Beam to take an existing live stream that you've already set up. So I had this stream set to go last night and it's been sitting there in a waiting period. Now, if I could go into Beam and find that stream and then say, okay, when I start streaming in Beam, I want it to send it to that YouTube stream, then I would have done that because I've set up all the other destinations. So Beam is basically Restream done better. NZTV, Net TV. Jeez, man, welcome back. Thank you, dude. I can't even read handles right now. You have to stream to Beam and then out from there. Exactly, and I'm comfortable to do that, but I'm only comfortable doing it if you can select which stream you want to send it to. I'm not talking about platforms. I've got all the platforms. I've got the D-Love, I've got the Trovo, I've got the Twitch, I've got the Kick, I've got the YouTube. But when you hit YouTube, I want to be able to hit a drop-down arrow and say, okay, select this placeholder stream. I don't want it to start a fresh stream on YouTube. I want it to take the one that I've already set as a placeholder. So that's why this is not a Beam stream right now. But it is interesting timing that all happened because while I was away, my Restream account needed restreaming. It needed refunding. And I've got a deal. I had a deal which was half price lifetime. So it's supposed to be about $450 a year, and I was getting it for $225. But I don't think I needed it, right? I don't think I needed all those extra. The one thing I do need in Restream, and it sucks that I don't have it now, you don't get any RTMP servers with it, with the free plan, because I'm on the free plan right now. But I am still streaming to the platforms that well, actually, let me just confirm that. Let me just see that it is working. Yeah, it looks like it's working on unable to connect to Kick. Well, shit me. Do you know why that is? I'm not on Kick right now. I'm not on Kick right now because Kick is an RTMP server inside Restream. Interesting. You can't natively stream to Kick through Restream. You have to do it. Are you sure about that, dude? Are you sure about that? It says sending data. Let me just check this. Neskis, that might not be exactly what you were talking about. Well, you can once you add them all and then turn them on and off. No, that's not what I was talking about. Yeah. Let me just check my Kick machine. No, it says I'm offline. Okay. Well, I'm going to delete Kick from this restream, remove the channel, remove that channel Kick. Look, I'm at that point where I guess we're going to talk about this as well, but I'm at that point where I'm sort of trying to decide, wait a second, it says last live 1 minute ago. Oh, was that doing that thing where it, okay, so at this stage, I'm not even going to bother with Kick. I'm just going to stream to YouTube. I see that it was live a minute ago. So it was working, but there's that weird ingest thing that I don't know. I don't know what it's doing, but what I was going to say is I'm at that point where I'm sort of I'm trying to consider all things here. I'm trying to consider my options. If one thing this trip taught me, this big live stream mission to the Rock, if there's one thing that came out of it, well, there's a bunch of things, but one thing, and not the big thing, but one thing that came from it was it's a lot of money. It's a lot of financial investment from myself to do the thing that I did. And to be completely frank, there was no payoff for that. Not all. By far and away, the majority of those streams were demonetized by YouTube. Now, there is reasoning for that. Either it was the copyrighted music that we played, which I'm completely fine with. You can go back and mute them and blah, blah, blah. Or it was the excessive swearing from my travel partner. Either way, what I'm getting at is I'm at a point where I still want to do it, and I still want to do it the best I can, but it costs a lot of money, and there was zero return from that trip. But you could also, and we did talk, we talked about this one night in, where was that? In some national park in the back of Queensland. I cannot recall the name. Oh, started with a B, not Barwon? Barwon? Was it Barwon? Somewhere out there in Queensland, we talked about this one night, and I think I'm still sort of trying to dissect what I walked away with from that conversation. But what I think I'm getting at is I want to do this, but I'm thinking about doing it cheaper. I don't know how, but one thing I can do is eliminate Restream, or at least go back to the free tier. Oddly enough, Go Lightstream, which is it's like the OBS, if you like. So Go Lightstream have just reduced all their pricing, so that's cool. After the 31st of October, their pricing has been dropped. Then there's this platform Beam, which sort of fills the shoes of Restream.io, but it doesn't quite fill them fully. It still doesn't have the critical, and by the way, this is where most of the costing went for me, paying $450 for Go Lightstream, just to have the feature of stream redundancy, and in particular when you lose your bitrate. So when you're streaming from somewhere remote, such as the outback of Australia, and you lose signal, Starlink goes under a tree, or Starlink drops its satellite when it's jumping from train to train, or whatever it does. At that point, you guys kept seeing the blowfly doing aerobics on a piece of styrofoam, and that's because of Go Lightstream. So Go Lightstream fills those blanks when the bitrate drops. It just throws up this, in my case, an animated GIF. And then when the bitrate increases, so when I get back the signal, then it just continues on. The stream is a long, endless one stream. If I didn't have Go Lightstream, every single time that happened, it'd be a new stream starting on YouTube, a new stream starting on YouTube, a new stream starting, and there'd be like, potentially over 100 streams per day kind of thing. Well, with Starlink, we were pretty good. We didn't really have many issues. Netskis, I streamed a D-Live from Beam the other night. Had to get all my OBS settings really nailed down. D-Live dropped a couple of times, but it was mostly good. Were you using the SRT? Because they've just rolled out SRT streaming, secure, reliable transport. They've just rolled that out. Or were you still using the RTMP system? But anyway, those technical issues, they're playing together in the sense that I am going to, I know myself, and I am going to be doing this again, and I'm going to do it differently. To start with, I have obviously made a decision. Hey, Metaluna, how you doing, man? I've obviously made a decision about, and in reflection, this was a big fail from my behalf. You should never, well, I should never, not you, unless you're going to go live streaming around Australia, you should, then it can be you. But in this case, it's definitely on me. I should never have taken someone that wasn't into it as much as I was. So it was clear that Marty was not into the live content quite the way I am. And on a long journey and oftentimes a tedious journey, and at other times a trying journey, like a mentally testing journey, you need to be right into it you need to be right into, you need to be as enthusiastic as I am, or there's going to come a point where it's a little too much. Oddly enough, I saw signs of that early in the game. The video that just went live on my YouTube channel about an hour ago, the Two Rail National Park, the first place where we stayed 2 days in the one spot, there was a point on the stream. I haven't gone back and watched it because I'm busy with other things, but there was a time on that stream, I feel like it was just before sundown, probably an hour or two before sunset. And I remember sitting on the picnic table with the chat, and Marty had said something in the distance over near the swag and the van. And I said something like, it might have even been to go to walk to see the sunset or something. I think it might have been that. But either way, he suggested something, and I said, I'm going to sit here and just be with the chat. I just want to do this. And then I heard what I didn't really understand at the time, but looking back at it, it was obviously him muttering under his breath. And I heard the word chat, like I heard the chat. And then he was walking away from me, so he wasn't facing, so I didn't see his mouth, but I definitely heard the word chat, and I saw his kind of like hands up, and he shook his head. Like basically the vibe from that was he was having a crack, or no, he was letting me know that he thought what I was doing was lame. But the vibe that I got from that, and that was early, that was that he was not into it, and he didn't understand how I was into it. And so, yeah, obviously that all blew out later on in the streams, and you guys saw it all. But so the lesson I learned from that was, should never have taken someone that's not into it, because as you guys know, and as I know, with live streaming, there's nearly always some kind of technical issue that needs to be taken care of, either on the fly or on the spot at the location. And you don't have the luxury of sitting, at your desk and being able to troubleshoot it. You have to do it right there on the spot. And, we had a lot of troubles with the DJI transmission. So there was me trying to sort of troubleshoot what that issue was. Because like I said, on many streams, like I said, I've never, ever encountered anything quite like that technical issue. I think I've covered every other potential technical issue that you could have on a live stream. I think I've covered them, but that one, I still have no, I'm not going to swear here, but I have no idea what that issue was. None at all. To the point where, and I was going to mention this, but that now, actually on Friday, what day is today? Saturday. No, on Thursday, I mailed that back to DJI. They've been giving me the runaround though. Under Australian consumer law, if a product doesn't work as advertised, you're entitled to a 100% refund of the product, of the purchase price. My bad. And so I was discussing it with DJI originally because it's their product, but then they said, well, you've got to go back to the store you bought it from, which in this case was a store called D1 in Australia. D1 trading, DJI trading is D1. So I contacted those guys and I provided my invoice and everything, and I explained what the situation was. They put me through a whole bunch of different people and like update the firmware, do this test, do that test. I was like, dude, I've done all the tests, right? I've done all the tests. This thing does not work. This thing doesn't even work when you're close to it. And you telling me it's supposed to work 6 kilometers away? Dude, what a joke. What an absolute joke that product is. They could have changed that to 2 kilometers and people would have been like, oh, that's pretty cool. But they put it down at a 6 kilometer range. As you guys saw, there's no rhyme or reason, but that thing did not work. And then when it did work, we're like, oh man, that worked perfectly. Remember the time at the Ackerman campground in the Flinders Ranges when I went up on the mountain and we were filming mountain goats, mountain wallabies, right? That worked perfectly. Like that, and I haven't watched it back, but you guys told me that worked exactly as it was meant to work. And then I was like, sick, whatever we did, let's do that again. But the thing is, I didn't actually do anything different. There's nothing different. I didn't do a thing differently that day than I did every other day. But for some reason, that one time, it worked absolutely flawlessly. So what I understood from that was the product is flawed. It doesn't work. It's expensive. I'll take the money back, thanks. And then D1 was saying, that's okay, but there is going to be a 20% restocking fee. And I went onto the ACC website and was like, these guys want to charge me 20%? And no, they can't do that. As per Australian consumer law, 100% of the purchase price. Nothing taken off. Put it back in its box. I always had the box. Send it back. It's gone back on Thursday. I'll update you guys how it goes throughout the week. The only difference there was the elevation. Netskis, yeah, you're probably right. I mean that's like, okay, so I said I didn't do anything different. Of course, I did something different in the sense that I walked up a mountain, and every other time we were kind of at the same level as the transmitter. The receiver and transmitter are on the same horizontal plane, but that one time I walked up a mountain. And like I said, at that time I was saying, well, why would that make a difference? And it's pretty obvious why it would, if you think about it. DJI make drones. Drones, as soon as you launch it, it goes above you. It goes up. You don't often fly a drone at the same height as the transmitter and receiver. It's going up straight away. So is there something to do with the potential for interference with the Earth and metal objects such as a vehicle, metal objects such as the red soil with metal in it, right? The dirt, the rocks, everything that's around you. And as soon as you go up off the ground, there's no chance that that's going to cause any kind of interference. That's all I understood from it. So DJI are now going to go back and try to work out what's wrong with that product, but I'm taking a refund. And what I'm going to do with the refund, which is $3,500. Is it $3,500? It was just on $3,000. I think it was just on $3,000. And I'm already in this process. I've taken the Starlink off the vehicle, and I'm selling my Starlink Gen 3 dish, which is called standard right now. It's just the standard. It's just the they call it standard, but it's Gen 3. The Gen 3 dish, the Cosmo, excuse me, the Cosmo from the company Cowfish. It's a strange name, Cowfish. There's a company called Cowfish that manufacture a 12-volt power supply for the Gen 3 Starlink, and the Outcamp flat mount, roof rack flat mounts for the Gen 3. I'm selling all of those as a package. What sucks, well, this just whatever, but you might recall that Marty and I were sometimes trying to stop and get firewood, because some places you can't take firewood from the national parks. So what we would do is we would stop when we're outside of the national park and just load up firewood onto the roof racks. And at one point, somehow, some of that firewood, the twigs scratched a bit of the surface of the dish. Now, as you guys could see from the streams, it doesn't make any difference to the functionality of the product, but there are some visible scratching on the surface of that dish, which it's only plastic. It's like a Tupperware dish, if you like. So it's got a bit of light scratching on it. So I've put that down and said there's light scratching, but you're getting the Gen 3 standard dish. You're getting the Cowfish Cosmo, which is the great 12-volt power supply, and you're getting the Outrig Out Camp flat mount for the roof, for your roof racks. And so that's a package. And to be honest, I put that on almost actually, I took that off the roof the day that I got back. So that's been on Facebook Marketplace for probably about 2 weeks now. And I haven't had a single bite. I had a couple of bites through a Facebook group with a Starlink users group, but no one else has bitten really yet. But what I was saying is that when I get that refund from the DJI transmission, I'm going to put that towards the Starlink Mini. Now, the Starlink Mini is going to act as a replacement for both the Starlink Gen 3 standard dish that was on the roof, and it's going to act as a replacement for the DJI transmission. How's that going to work? Well, think about it. The Mini is only this big, and again, powered by 12 volt, not the Cowfish. Doesn't work with that one, unfortunately. Of course it doesn't. That sucks, but probably could tweak it to work. But anyway, probably might do that if it doesn't sell. But anyway, so when I'm driving, we could have that mounted to the roof, again with another Out Camp flat mount. It doesn't fit with the existing one, apparently. Again, you could probably tweak it, but the one that I've got's only for the blah blah blah. So I have to buy another mount for that. And then when we get to the campsite, I could just take that off. They're quite easy to unhook, take it off, and then wherever I go, take it with me. So they'll never be transmitting back to GoVan. It'll always be. And by the way, I'm gonna take a note out of CUintheNTEEE, his book. So I really liked when we chatted and we watched his video. I really liked how he had a backpack, his streaming backpack, which was basically behind his passenger seat, just with like the straps from a backpack would just be on the back of the seat. And so all of his gear was in place in the backpack, but then he would just plug cables in for, power from the alternator and power from the 12-volt cigarette lighter, all that stuff powered while you're driving. But when you want to go walkabout, just unplug those powers, pick up the backpack and walk out. I really like that idea. Netskis, I reckon the Starlink that you have is way more powerful. Be interesting to see it in the field. Man, I've been watching the forums, and everybody that's got the Mini, there's nobody complaining about the Mini. The Mini, from what I'm seeing, as long as you get a power supply that's strong enough to run that, you basically see no difference from the Mini to the Gen 3 standard. Sounds good if the Mini works well. Yeah, from what I can see, it's no different. The only difference is it's portable and it's smaller, but the connectivity, no difference at all. And let's also not forget that every day or every week, Mr. Elon Musk's sticks is sending up more satellites all the time. Like there's always new satellites being launched, and so basically the speeds we're seeing right now, we're at the very beginning of this, and the speeds are perfect. They're completely fine for live streaming, like totally fine. Man, we were live streaming from the freaking Devil's Marbles. Like we're live. Like it still trips me out that we did that. Like that. We live streamed for 43 days driving through Australia. Like that's what? Like I couldn't even live stream from here 5 years ago, you know? Duxie, mini sounds like an interesting concept. Yeah, fully, man. People could use, and this is what I want to do. I want to stop using fiber. I want to stop using the fiber connection here, and I just want to use the Starlink. So when I'm home, just put the Starlink outside. Doesn't have to be mounted anywhere, just as long as it sees the sky. Put it next to the garden shed. That's my internet while I'm home. Oh, you want to go away? Take it off you go. The problem with that is it's still quite expensive, and the pricing went up during the trip. It went up to $190 a month when it started at 170. And the reason it went up, because of people like me. So originally you weren't meant to use it while in motion. Now it's a little bit whatever, because the plan is called roam. So roam would sort of give you the impression that, okay, so you can move with it. No. All that meant was that you could take it from somewhere and then go somewhere else and use it somewhere else. So different, the alternative is it's permanently fixed to your home and it stays there. That's the normal plan, the cheapest plan, but the roam plan, you can have multiple homes if you like, but you're not meant to have it on while you're traveling between the places. However, there's no power switch on the Starlink. No power switch. If you have a Cowfish power supply like I did, the Cosmo, that gives you an on-off switch. So my question was, well, if you're not meant to use it while you're traveling between locations, shouldn't they have shipped them with an on-off switch? And people are like, oh, you can unplug it, you can unplug it. Yeah, but that's not the same as turning a switch on and off, right? If you're not meant... Anyway, everybody was using them in motion. Everybody. Anybody that had a roam, they didn't turn them off. They're driving with them. So Elon said, you know what? From now on, you can use them all in motion. Who gives a shit? We'll just put the price up a bit. So if you want to use them in motion, now it's $190. Bad luck. And those that weren't using them in motion, still you pay for it. So it was people like me and other people before me that were driving around. Nobody was using them to live stream data upward. People were streaming Netflix and driving through Australia and watching their movies and shit, but I was uploading. You know how much data we used? 24 terabytes, maybe even more. That was at one check. There was 24 terabytes we'd used, and I posted that. Information on the Starlink page, Facebook groups. People were like, "Oh, there's a terms of service about unfair usage." I'm like, that's not actually unusual amount of data, considering I was live streaming 1080, 30 frames a second, upward of 10 hours a day for 43 days. That's not that, and also downloading the VODs afterwards. Not that a lot. That's not that much data really, but yeah. So to sort of wrap that sort of section up, if you like, I'm downsizing my hardware. That's what I was going to say. Okay, now you guys might not like this, but bad luck. Because this Starlink can be turned on and off in terms of your plan. So right now, I don't have a plan. Like I'm out of, I got back to Australia, I got back to Sydney and just not cancelled, but put my plan on hold. So I'm not being billed while I'm not using it. And so what I was going to do, once I'm set up to go again on missions, like let me also say this. I probably won't do a 43-day mission again. Probably be more like I'll go for a week or two max, maybe a weekend, then another weekend, and then maybe a week away or something. I want to go back up to Sunshine Coast for winter. I want to spend 3 weeks up there and go surfing. So I'll live stream all that. But what I was going to say is, because it costs $190 to have that thing for a month, and by the way, not one single referral link came through. Thanks very much for that. Nobody used my referral. So I never got a free usage of Starlink. But what I was going to say is, when it comes time to planning another mission, I'm going to throw it out to you guys. I'm going to say, okay, if you guys want me to do this, here's a new donation on the screen. The donation amount is $190. Once we've achieved that donation goal, I'll turn the Starlink on and we'll go off on the mission. It's going to be a joint thing because it's expensive and I spent a lot of money doing it, and I'm trying to continue to do it, but also not spend as much of my own money to do it. So if there is a value in it that you guys, and from everything I saw in the chats while we were there, everybody was loving it. So if the love can result in a donation and the donation goes to making more of the love, isn't that going to be good for everybody? Of course, what'll happen is none of you will, and I'll just pay for it and do it. That's probably what'll happen. I'm also aware of that, but I'm just trying to look at different ways to sort of, do it, I guess. Do it a little bit more affordably. I feel like, so I touched on not taking someone who's not into it. So I wouldn't, stupid move to take Marty, right? Dumb move. You guys pointed it out. He wasn't into it. He wasn't there. He made no attempt to sort of, kept pushing it off, come down here to sort of sort things out and get the stuff together. And he made no attempt to I don't even think he brought the PDF of the trip itinerary. I don't think he was interested in it at all. I think he was a bit green. I think in all said, I think he was a bit green in terms of, well, if I could pick one day, it was my birthday, that stream when he insisted on camping at a truck stop. I was like, dude, we have a 4-wheel drive. We're in the outback. We can literally go anywhere with this thing. Like, we can just drive up that trail and just keep going until we find a good spot. We don't have to stay on the road. But I feel like he might have just, and I think he did eventually sort of get that. I don't think he understood that concept at the start. I think he was more thinking that we were going to camp in campgrounds all the time. I'm not talking about caravan parks, not at all. I'm talking about designated parks and national parks, wildlife, set up campgrounds. I think he thought that's where we were going to be all the time, which is not, nothing wrong with that. But if you have a 4-wheel drive and you can get off road and go where you want, it makes sense to do that, right? Why would you stay on the track, the beaten path, so to speak? So I think he mellowed out nearer to the end. There was a time, I can't recall where it was, but there was somewhere where he sort of said, "Oh, let's just go up there and have a look." And we remember that. Oh man, I can't wait to get to this video. Remember the red dirt with the rainbow and the rain? Dude, that was so sick, that spot. That was so good. I don't think he was into it quite as much as I was in terms of making it a live stream. I don't think he cared. But I think there was certainly a time when at the beginning, he respected that I was doing that. But then I needed to show the same amount of respect back when he didn't want it. And the sad thing is, you guys don't see that, but there were times when we didn't create any content. We didn't stream. We didn't do anything. And usually that was when I kind of triggered that he was a bit, what's going on, all this streaming and all this shit. No, I'm not saying he said anything, but I could sense that there was a point, it happened a number of times, where I got the bad vibe that he's like, "Oh, again with this?" And so there were some times when I didn't even begin the stream until we got to a campsite. There was times there where we didn't stream for 10 hours. We just streamed for 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever. So I think that there was, and you guys didn't see any of that because from your end, it just looked like you were catching whatever the content was. But there was definitely a few times when I didn't do anything about streaming. You guys unfortunately, I don't really want to, unless you dudes really want to. I don't really want to talk too much about the Marty sitch. I mean, it is what it is, and you guys saw it, so there isn't anything really to add to it. All I will say is that, and it connects to what I just said. There is other outside pressure that might have been causing both Marty and I to act the way we did to get to the Alice Springs stream. There is outside pressure which you guys don't know about, and I feel like that outside element is something that should, I guess, yeah, just, yeah, there's something that needs resolving, and I think if it was resolved, then potentially we would have had a better time. What about the good times? Yeah, cool, yeah. So yeah, that, I mean, if everyone's cool with that, we'll just leave it at that. Oh, but I will say this: I did reach out to Marty. I did what Perdsky said, and when we were in Alice, I did say, if you need a ride to the airport, I'm still here. I'm staying overnight. Blah blah blah. He didn't respond for 4 or 5 days, and then when he did respond, he just said 2 words: "Home already." So he went. I'm not even sure how he got back, to be frank. I'm assuming he flew. It would have been expensive. He had his swag. It's great. Anyway, I'm assuming that's what he did. But then when I finally got back down here, I sort of lay low for a week. I went back to work almost immediately, but I lay low for a week, and then I did send him a voice message. We'd often do voice recordings as opposed to just typing and shit, so it's easy just to talk. And I just sent him a message saying, "Hey man, I'm back. I'm back for a week now, and I'm back at work, and I've been reflecting and watching, and I'm ready to talk about it when you are. If you are wanting to talk, I'm ready to talk as well. I might have gone over the top when I sort of suggested that if you split, you leave me out here, that ends our friendship. I might have done that a bit prematurely. So we can talk if you're ready. When you're ready, I'm down to talk." I apologized for what my role in the issues were, and he hasn't responded. So that's been, well, I can tell you, it's been 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, the 11th of October. What is it now? 26. It's been about 2 weeks. So I sent him that message on the 11th. Yeah, and I don't know. Hey Dale, how you doing? What the fuck? This dude seems vaguely familiar. Thank you, man. How you doing? Yeah. So can like just know that I did reach out, and I thought he would have responded by now, but if he might still be dealing with things. Yeah. So the good times. Well, where do we begin? Holy shit. I gotta tell you, man. When I think about that trip, I think about it in 2 sections, and I'm sure you guys do too. I think about it, before Marty and after Marty, or not before, with Marty and without Marty. There's 2 very clear points in that trip, and I think I said this a number of times on the trip. Once I started leaving Alice and heading north, and the further I went north, and the further I got myself away from Alice, the better I was feeling, and the trip became, it became a real it became really exciting, like really exciting. I'm out there, I'm in remote outback Australia, as far from, like geographically, as far as you can be from anywhere in this country, like literally the center of the freaking country. Like there's nothing on either side of you, north, south, east, or west. It's just awesome red soil with amazing animals and frogs and birds and shit. And I was there by myself with you guys. Like it's a weird feeling, because I know I'm out there alone, but I was never lonely. I had you guys the whole time. If it wasn't for the streams and it was just Marty and I traveling, and we had the blow ups and the arguments, and then one of us departed, it would really have sucked. Like that, you would really feel quite alone. But because of the streams, which ironically was part of the reason the blow ups happened, but because of you guys, yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. There was a time when I was thinking, I'm fucking over this. You know, at the time of it happening, I was like, I'm over it. I'm just going to wrap the stream up and I'm going to fang it straight back home. And then when I got away from Alice and I started, you know, I think the frogs, the desert tree frogs at the, what was the truck stop, the pub, had a really good hard solo that day. That was so, where was that? That was the Marbles Hotel, wasn't it? Devil's Marbles Hotel. And those frogs in there. When that happened, it sounds stupid, you know, the frogs made you feel better, but it did. It really did. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We're going to be in Queensland soon, and there's going to be frogs everywhere, tree frogs and shit. This is going to be weird. Hey, MD's in the house. How you doing, MD? Welcome back. Thank you. Good to see you, Dale. The contrast between first, second half trip was interesting. Yeah. I didn't think about it at the time, but certainly getting back when I've been kind of like remembering everything, there's really two like stark different trips in that 43 days. There's two journeys. And to that note, I found myself, you know, we had the phrase, you're purting it up. I also Martied it up. I Martied it. Marty did it up. I did a Marty. I pulled a Marty, and I was talking to anybody and everybody anywhere I could. Anybody that was in front of me, I was yapping to them. And I think, you know what I feel? It's such a strange thing to think of, and it's only just right now becoming sort of clear to me. But Marty is kind of live streaming. Like he is yapping to strangers everywhere he can. Like you'll walk 5 meters up the street and he'll be talking to the person that's sitting at the bus stop. He basically is live streaming, if you like, to a captive audience that happens to be right in front of you, in front of him. And so it's weird that he got angsty about me talking to you guys, and he did all that finger pointing about because I'm yapping to strangers like he does all the time everywhere. That's just something that's just kind of come clear to me now just by doing this very stream. But what I was saying is, yeah, I found myself yapping to anybody, and I had some really good conversations. It was weird. There was a Dutch couple. They Dutch or Spanish? Marty first met them. I can't recall where it was, but might have been at one of the gorges. Oh, the gorges. Oh, Red Bank Gorge. Dude, I can't wait to edit those videos together. Yeah, there's this couple that after the separation, basically everywhere I went, these guys were. Yeah, saw them all over the place. Where was the... They came into the exact same campground I was at in Alice, but then I kept seeing them out east to the Trafina Gorge. That was a bit of a letdown, that one. Netsky, I can only say I enjoyed both parts of the stream. Yeah. I am so staying out of that issue, Ben, and have my perspectives and opinions. Well, yeah, Dale. I mean, you were saying that you were looking forward to a call in when we get back to discuss all this. But I'll be honest, man. Like I don't know. I don't know if that is going to achieve anything. Yeah, I mean, I would like to hear other people's opinions on it, but it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to change anything. Yeah, he said, she said, who's to blame? Who cares really? Like, it's not going to, everything that happened. And there's nothing else to add to that, right? We just, yeah. But there are some interesting things that have come up in my mind after the fact, and yeah, and now that I don't know if you guys are watching, but there are 5 or 6, I think there's 5 videos that I've put up. Basically, I shot content every day for the whole trip, so there is individual vlogs that are coming from each day of the trip, and I think I'm up to day 5 right now. And what I noticed almost immediately when I started editing them, Marty doesn't seem like he's into it. Even days 1 through to day 5, he really doesn't. He doesn't. There's no real enthusiasm. I was frothing. Like, I was like, man, look at this. We're driving through. There's canola fields. There's, we're out there. There's bloody red soil, and there's these purple freaking flowers, and there's emus, and I was just filming everything. And I remember I asked Marty a few things and just got really not as enthusiastic. Like, okay, maybe he's not into it's too harsh, but he wasn't as enthused as I was. Yeah, I mean, okay, fast forward to like the Unda Datna track, and the enthusiasm was gone from both of us because we were jack of that drive. But maybe that's a bit harsh. Maybe the stuff that he was enthusiastic about, I didn't see. That could be a thing. I'll call in about the trip, not the drama or such. Yeah, cool. Yeah. But I have noticed during the editing of those daily vlogs that, yeah, it's kind of strange. Like when someone talks as much as he does, when a camera's on, he does the opposite and he freezes up. It's weird, and he's a photographer too, so he's no stranger around a lens, but yeah, leave him alone with someone and he could stand there all day talking, but ask him a question about something and he'll like slow right down and talk forever about nothing. And I'm seeing it in the edit, yeah. You're finally seeing what we saw as the audience. I mean, I did have this conversation with my family when I got back, and they all said it straight away, and I was like, I didn't see any of that. Like, I mean, there was even conversation about, like setting up the campsite and stuff and how long all that took. And I didn't see it. I was just like, this is wicked, man. We're streaming in the outback. This is so sick. I'll go and look for firewood. Marty's going to do dinner. I never caught that at the time, but I can definitely see it in the editing, and having talked about it, I can reflectively see it, but I definitely did not see that when it was happening. And you know why? Because I'm too busy with the stream, right? I'm too busy focusing on the freaking stream that I forgot about the human aspect of it. Having said that, there was never a time when Marty said to me, hey man, can I talk to you about the stream? Can we not? It was whenever that conversation happened, it was me volunteering it. I would say, hey man, I'm not going to start the stream till here or till there, or I'm not going to do this, and we'll just do it there. And he never, as much as he might not have liked it, he never put the, don't do that. Never, not once. Streamers often miss things. The chat notices. True of most streamers. Yeah. Yeah, and then fast forward all the way through to Queensland and like Brisbane and catching up with my friend Tope. You guys didn't see this, but you'll see it in the daily content. It's kind of weird. Like I'll just tap into this super quick. So you guys all know the H-Man, and I've known him as well. So when I caught up with him, it was just like old mates hanging out again. Nothing. H-Man, you know him, right? And I know him, so it was like cool. But then when I caught up with my friend Andrew Tope, haven't seen him in actually not that long. We went to Tasmania in 2015 or something. But he's really like done well for himself, you know, like he's turned him this, and this means nothing to you guys because you don't know him, but he told me a story. He told me two stories that blew me away. The first story was that his partner had an accident or some kind of cancer or something. Either way, she lost her eye. So she's only got one eye. I never knew that. And he's like, she's got a glass eye. Anyway, that's just a side thing, but something that would be tricky to you know, deal with and work through as a couple. And he did. And then he told me about he got an inheritance when his parents passed away, and he could have pissed it up against a wall, but he invested it into property. And he's the guy that lives in, I can't remember the name of the suburb, the one that Charlotte knew about, the one with in Brisbane. Hendrik knew it as well. I can't. Ashgrove. Ashgrove's down here. Ashburton. I want to say Ashburton, even though I know that's wrong. It's Ashgrove, isn't it? Ashgrove. I think it's Ashgrove. Yeah. And he was saying, man, and I'm going to buy another property and I'm going to smash it because the Olympics are coming to Brisbane and I'm going to cash in on all that shit. And I was like, man, you've really got it sorted, haven't you? Like he said, Benon, you know, in our group of friends, you know, we all fucked around and pissed it all out. He said, but you and he said to me, you always had it sort of sorted. I'm like, no, kind of, not really. I've had my good times and my bad times. And he's like, yeah, I feel like I'm getting it now. And he's like, I'm getting it. And I'm like, dude, you've really got it. Like, look at this property you've got, man. And like, fuck yeah, it was really cool. I'm really stoked that I caught up with him. And then catching up with Andrew Rudd down in Byron Bay, that was sick. You know, an old mate from school. Dude, we had the funniest time. Oh man, we were remembering such stupid shit from school. Get this. I don't know if I told this. I don't know if I mentioned this on the stream or not, but there was one time I had a broken arm or something from skateboarding, and me and him were the class clowns. Like we were both sort of basically stand-up comedians, but we weren't at a comedy show. We were just at school. And I didn't remember. He remembered that I'd said to the teacher, hey, Mr. Hawks, you have to speak up. Rumor has I've got a broken arm. That kind of humor, you know, doesn't make any sense. You got to speak louder, sir, because I've got a broken arm. Rumor has it I've got a broken arm, so therefore you got to speak louder. And when he told me, as he was telling me, I was like, I remember that. What a funny thing to say. He didn't remember sticking a metal ruler on my leg after putting it on a Bunsen burner and getting it red hot. Fucking hell, man. I still got a scar from that. Not a very strong one, but he got a metal ruler. He got one of these and he put it on a Bunsen burner until this end was red hot, and then he stuck it on the back of my calf. It singed, it branded me. And he was like, what? I did that? And he was like fully apologetic for it. And I was like, dude, I'm not bringing that up for an apology. I'm bringing it up just to point out how lame it was and how I can't really tell that story. Just some stupid shit. Just so stupid. And then we went surfing. We had a pretty terrible surf, actually. Tallows Beach. It's the beach that's not in Byron Bay. It's the one that faces, I guess it faces pretty much southeast. So it was getting pretty windy and the conditions weren't great, but it was just good to be out with an old mate. You know what? How long are we going to stream for? Should I get a beer? We've been live for an hour. Should I get a beer and then we'll just keep talking shit? What do you guys say? Another hour or so? I mean, look, I didn't really have any plans for this stream. I just wanted to come back and sort of have a stab at it, have a crack at it. I'll join you in a beer. Did you mean you would call in, Dale, or just crack a beer? I'll definitely get a homebrew though. Is it, by the way, there's been some changes to OBS and also to Restream and everything. Is everything as it should be? Does it all sound normal? I feel like everything's normal. Stay on. Yeah, crack a beer. Okay, I will. Yeah. Call another time. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do. But maybe we'll do call-ins on Kick or something. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll obviously have to work out why Kick wasn't working, but I see 3 people on D Live. Reminder too, folks, make sure you get your token incentive. Click that button every day, just do it. I mean, I was checking out, actually, I want to do a crypto stream soon because, wow, man, there's some interesting crypto news that has popped up in the time that I've been away. Did you know that Pi, are you guys on Pi browser or the Pi? It's not even a browser. It's a mining. Let me just show you something. It's been smooth so far. Thank you, Doug. Thank you for letting me know. Are you guys aware of this app? Someone told me about this back in the early crypto days, and I'm like, what do you do? And they're like, you just press a button every 24 hours and it mines this cryptocurrency called Pi. I'm like, oh, okay. What's the catch? No catch. No catch except that when it comes down to getting this cryptocurrency out of the app and onto an exchange, if you like, or into a private wallet, they're going to have to KYC. So the idea is that you can mine this shit, and it's in testnet right now. But once you've mined whatever and blah blah blah, and it goes to mainnet, then you got to KYC. So you got to provide your identity. So I've done all the KYC, and I'm in the migration queue for when it goes to mainnet. But what I was going to say is, from all reports, and this is on like CoinMarketCap, on the bigger trading exchanges, they're all saying that it's looking that it's going to trade for around $30 a token. $30. I have 3,132 of them. I have 3,000 of them. I've just been pressing that button every day for 24 hours. Not pressing once every 24 hours. I press that button, and you watch an ad, and then it starts mining. And they're saying it's going to be, and I've seen up to $43. Like, what are you talking about, man? I didn't do anything. All I did was have this app on my phone, and it's there. That the current value, and this is from I use the Delta app for tracking. My current Pi value, it's all the way down here. It must have dropped off. Where is it? Now I can't see it. Yeah, $124,000. $124,000? Huh? What the hell? I mean, if obviously that's not going to happen, right? But if it did, giddy up, I'm out of there, right? Free money, why not? Free money with the catch of you've got to provide your identity. Look, I'm going to go and grab that beer. I'll be right back then. By the way, when this Be Right Back scene comes up on YouTube, it goes through the folder of images that you guys have supplied. But soon I'm going to take all those images out and put in images from the trip, all the still photos from the trip. So that's something to look forward to. It would be for me, but I'm out there getting the beer. I'll be right back. Ooh, Suki's back home. Is that right? Oh, where are my glasses? Here they are. I hope she's doing okay. She popped in a few times on my streams, didn't she? On the CUintheNTEE. By the way, homebrew came back to a fair amount of it left over. I thought I brought it all. No, I didn't. I brought all that rubbish homebrew. By the way, I feel like I got bitten in there. Look at this. The last remaining thumb glass. The other one did break. Cheers as eases. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a good one. Yeah. So what else was I going to bring up here while we're talking about the trip? Oh, I brought, and I haven't done anything with this yet, but Flowski, if Flowski's watching the replay, this is the red soil, the red sand I brought. Is that open? No. Yeah, the red dirt. Damn, man. That's cool. And then the other day, I went down to a place called Hyams Beach in Jarvis Bay, not far from here. The whitest sand in the world. Google it. I got a bag of white sand. So I got white sand, got red sand, and I'm going to get the orange sand from Culburra Beach. And we're going to do, remember we were talking about it? We should put it in a glass and make it like layers of it. But I'm going to send some of that to Flowski's. You got a torpedo. Cheerses. Yeah. Ah, this is a great home brew. I mean, anything's better than that vinegar shit that I brought. That was the stupidest move. You know, you learn stuff, right? You learn stuff. Take a whole vehicle full of home brews from like 10 years ago. What are you doing, man? It's weighting the vehicle down. It tastes like shit. It's going to make you sick. Throw that shit out, dude. It took me 6 days to work that out. Peterborough, right? 7 days. 8 days. It was after the first week I took to work that shit out. What a dumb thing to do, you know? Take all that home brew with you. What do you, like... I mean, okay, it's not a dumb idea to take all the home brew, but home brew that's old? What did you think? Suddenly it's going to be good? Like, just because you're in a beautiful environment? It's just, it's expired home brew. It doesn't matter where you drink it, it's still shit. I've got 3 more brews to make. You can't probably... Oh yeah, you can see them. See that one down there? There's 2 others behind that, and once they're done, I'm not doing home brews anymore. I'm getting a keg. I'm going to do a keginator, like the full home brews in the fridge with the pull tap and stuff. Severalers were saying, "What the fuck? Don't drink that panther piss." I mean, it was a stupid idea. I did it for Marty. I'm just saying, I did it for Marty. I brought them because I thought I thought it'd be cool to sort of drink the beers that we drank together before, and it's kind of like I've known him for close to those full 10 years approximately. So it was kind of like, well, there's meaning behind these brews, if you like. Yeah, he thought they were okay. I thought that maybe, I don't know. Some of them were absolutely disgusting. The bonding experience never quite seemed to connect. Yeah, I feel like the external issues that Marty had might have been a factor in that. That's what I'm going to say with that. Can you excuse me for a second? I'm going to go and grab some socks. My feet are cold. My tootsies are kind of cold. Yeah, I think I can't speak on his behalf, obviously, but I definitely feel like the external pressures and the situation that he had, I feel like that was sort of holding him back. Yeah. Well, that was certainly adding to his concerns. Dalesky, after a long summer, I'm ready for cool weather. So yeah, we're well. Thank you. We'll have it. I'll have it. Cheers. Send it down this way. I'll have the hot weather. We're coming into our warmer. You know, what is it now? October, November, December. Yeah, dude. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you guys. You haven't seen any of this, and you won't see it. You won't see this project until January 1. But my plank project, man, I actually really, really love that project. So I'll just explain it because you guys saw it, and I tried to keep it hidden. I tried to keep it as hidden from you guys as possible, but I don't even know why I tried to keep it hidden. I just didn't want to bother anybody with it. But so what I did was, around about the 25th, 24th of December last year, I was watching something about fitness and surfing and like how to get your inner core stronger and how to build resistance and how to do a better pop-up and all this stuff. And someone said planking is the way to do it. Planking is a good exercise, and it's a simple exercise that anybody can do. As long as you can lay down, you can plank. And so we had heavy snow 100 kilometers from me today. Yeah, wow, Netskis. Planking is good exercise combined with yoga. Very zen. Right. Yeah, so I was thinking that I should start planking, and then of course I decided, well, how long do you plank for? Like what's the recommended? And so I Googled it, like what's the recommended planking time for an average male of my size and height and age? And they were like, oh, this and that. And I was like, do you know what? I want to just see how long I can plank for, and I want to film it, and I'm going to do it every day. And so I decided at the beginning of the year, January 1, I would plank for 1 second. And then on January 2, I'd plank for 2 seconds. And 3 seconds, January 4, etc., etc. So essentially, at some point throughout the year, I'm going to get to a number that's going to work for me. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go all the way through to the end of the year at 365 seconds. By the way, today, 300 seconds on the head. 5 minutes. No, 4 minutes. 4 minutes? No, 5 minutes. 300 seconds is 5 minutes, right? And so what I did was, I was doing it right here. Every morning I'd just get up and plank and I'd film it. And it's pretty boring, right? It's pretty shitty content. Like, you're going to see a video. And by the way, the reason I'm telling you you're not going to see it is because I haven't uploaded them anywhere, but I plan on doing them every day on YouTube. There'll be a new video on the day that I did it a year earlier. So it'll be January 1, 2025 through to December 31, 2025, starting in 2 months. And what I found was, whenever I was away from home, it was a bit more interesting because, you know, this is pretty boring just in my bedroom. I'm stuck at a certain number of seconds. Take a guess what they are. 69. 69, dude. Yeah, no prizes for guessing that number. And so what I didn't even think about, I mean, I did consider that I might not always be home, so I have to take my iPad, because I film it with my iPad, just set this thing up, and I factored that I might not be home all the time, but that's cool, whatever. But then what I didn't factor in was this 2.5 month trip or whatever, 43 days or whatever it was, 2.5, one and a bit. I didn't factor that I'd be away from home for that whole trip. But when I got into the first plank, which I did at the Dubbo Caravan Park at the barbecue area, then I quickly realized that, hold on a second, this is actually cool. Like, this project, I can now talk about the area I'm in. Like, I can do the plank for X amount of seconds and then get the camera up and start talking about where I am. And so during the journey, I was thinking about the cool places that I could plank. You know, I was like, where can we, oh dude, I can plank in front of this, I can plank in front of that. And then when I got home after planking in front of the fucking Uluru and Ayers Rock and the Olgas and all the Kings Canyon, and after I planked everywhere, I got back home and I was like, oh, I planked here for the first time. I was like, this is lame. This is a letdown. This project deserves better. So I started planking outside, and then I was like, you know what? Why don't I just keep the tourist thing going? And I've been going around the area, like in my local place, and planking in cool places. That's where I got the white sand from Hyams Beach. I planked at Hyams Beach the other day. So yeah, it's a stupid project. I'm getting fit. I feel good. I'm strong. My core is solid. I can plank for 300 seconds reasonably easily. I'm going to make it through to the end of the year, almost guaranteed, unless I break an arm surfing. But I'm all things as they are. I'm going to make it all the way through with no problem. And you're going to see at some point, when did the stream start? August 24 or something. In late August next year, you're going to see me planking every day in the trip. So you get to go on the trip again, if you like. Just stupid, right? Like stupid. Probably going to get 0 views, but I'm going to title them Guy Planks for 70 seconds. And the ones that are at home, it'll just say Guy Planks for 70 seconds at home. Guy Planks for 71 seconds at home. Guy Planks for 72 seconds at his sister's place in Janelli. Guy Planks for 73 seconds at the Dubbo Caravan Park, Central New South Wales, Dubbo. Guy Planks for 120 seconds at the Olgas, you know, tag the Olgas in it. Goofy streams are often the best. Just goofy ideas, you know, like just a stupid idea. And then at the end of it, I'll be like, okay, so I guess I can plank for 365 seconds. Big whoop. You answered the question you asked yourself 12 months earlier. What did you achieve? Well, you achieved strength and you achieved a good time, and you got 365 videos out of it for your YouTube channel. Yeah. I'm getting a little cheesy grin here. I was going to say there was a time after Marty AM. Can we go, we'll call it DM during Marty and AM after Marty. Danny Black is rubbing off on you. Danny Black? Danny Black. Did you know that this shirt was from him? Dale, you've got a fucking fine memory, dude. Are you aware of that he gave me this shirt? You must be aware of that to say that, right? I was trying to think, what else could that be in reference to? What did I say? Did I say something that was Danny Black related? I don't think I did. You remember? Man, that is dude, that deserves an epic double cheers. That's a huge memory, man. Holy shit. I mean, that's like 6 years ago? Wow, dude. Congrats on a good memory, man. I wish I had that kind of a memory. Holy shit balls. So DM during Marty and AM after Marty. This memory is AM, and I was at a waterhole called something. Not the Winton one, not the long, not the one that you went off, Dale, about the ground, the cake, rocky cake rock ground. Another waterhole. Fuck, I've got all the names written down. I just can't remember them off my head. Anyway, the water in this waterhole was so clear. It was just like, wow. It was like looking into not a mirror, looking into glass. And so I went for a swim. Nobody else did, but I did. That's right. That was the day that I chanced upon a shower at Tennant Creek. I went into Tennant Creek to, well, you have to go through there, but that's Tennant Creek is the place, not there, but not far from there is where you turn right and you start heading east. So if you kept going northbound, you'd wind up at the top of Australia at a place called Darwin. But if you take a right along the Barkly Highway, you start your way back eastbound towards the coast, which I was so thankful for. But at Tennant Creek, I go and fuel up for $100,000 a litre, something ridiculous. And I go into the bathroom to have a whiz. I'm like, holy shit, there's a shower right there. I'm like, I tested it, just turned the water. Okay, the water runs. I just finish up. I run outside. I grab my washing stuff. I go straight back in there. I strip off and I get in there straight away showering. Didn't ask anybody. Didn't speak to anybody. Just went straight in. Went for a shower. And I'm like, yes. And I was thinking that someone's going to come in and saying, that's a staff shower, dude. You can't use it. But by then I would be already done. Because when you're traveling, you take a shower whenever there's one in front of you. You might get out of a shower and drive 10 Ks and someone says, do you want a shower? Yeah, I'll have a shower. Take a shower. You use it, man. And so what's funny about this water hole was that I'd already showered that day. And then I get to this immaculate water hole and there was like sulfur crested cockatoos and birds and everybody. It was just so pretty and beautiful. And it was 400 degrees Celsius. And I was in that water. I was like, yes, but I didn't need it because I'd already had a shower. The sunset mirror reflections on the water. That was epic, dude. Lara Station wetlands. Yes. And the meetup with the gin crew, Lemon Tree Passage Distilling, Marcus Monkey and Susan. So many rad streams. Yeah, dude, what a great way to end it. What a really rad, yeah, man. AM and DM, two completely separate sort of concepts to the trip, but wow. Really, really, really cool. Like really fun. Greenie gave me his bike to ride. So we got quite drunk that night. Drank a whole bunch of stuff at his house as well. And then it was like, well, man, I guess I should get back down to because I was parked up at the distillery. And he's like, hey, take my bike, man. Just leave it in the, park it up next to the distillery and leave it there overnight. It's just a push bike. I'm like, yeah, cool. I was fucking off my tits. And there's a cop shop there too. And I was cycling up and I was like, there's a cop car at the front. I was like, I got to take a right. I just turned right, went down to the back alley and then kind of spied on them and waited for them to leave. My high point was the meetup with the skipper. That was awesome. Yeah, that was fun catching up with the H-man. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to stick around and, he has people that come in and help him and his sister helps him out. But if I had more time, I could have done I could have helped him out. He didn't want it, but and thank you, Dale, for those kind donations that night too. For the it's very kind of you, the donations throughout the trip, but that night especially because we did have some nice pizzas. What else did we get? I can't remember what we got. We got pizza, right? Ben on your visit helped him out bigly. Well, yeah. Okay, thank you. Maybe I didn't give as much value to that as I should, but yeah, you're right. Maybe, yeah, just having someone around is, but I could have done some stuff there. I could have cleaned up a bit and he gets lonely. Yeah, sure. Yeah. He's got a pretty cool neighbor he could go and talk to. That neighbor was a twat. Anyway, that was funny, yeah. And then my brother, you guys will see the content because I like I said, I shot content every single day of the trip. So there's the black days when the stream wasn't running, when I ran out of battery in my vehicle. And by the way, I've ripped that thing out and bought a better one. So I've resolved all that, or almost resolved it. Yeah, I shot content all the time. The green tree frogs up there at the Warramunga Dam. Oh, dude, that was so sick. Or Warramunga? some good photos coming. Surfing up there at Moffat Beach, surfing with the guy called Daniel, who has a channel called Journey to Surf Barrel. That was pretty rad. He's a good guy. Moffat Beach is pretty sick. Really, I'm gonna go back up there for a few weeks for sure. Moffs, as the locals call it. Can I call it that? I'm not a local. I can't call it that. The other thing I want to do is buy another bottle of that whiskey that my sister got me from Tasmania. It was called CUintheNTEEE Distillery. This is the guys. I'm going to definitely buy a bottle of... oil. They're single malt. Which one was it? Shit. Which one was it? It was in a box like that. I guess we got to go back on the stream and look for it. But yeah. El Sol. This was it. El Sol. Damn, Skippy, it's expensive. 150 bucks. Dude, like every now and then, that was definitely it, the El Sol. Every now and then you find a whiskey that is worth treating yourself to. Hey Siri, what's 150 Australian dollars in US dollars?
$150 is 99 US dollars and 9 cents.
About 100 US. But I tell you what, man, that whiskey, and I'm sure Marty would agree, even whatever, all said and done, he would be the same. That whiskey was so fucking beautiful, and it was so, like, just to have a shot of it, just one or two, oh, dude, it was so good. My sister got that for me for my birthday from when they went down to Tasmania. What's the bottle behind me? Jack behind me, dude. That's a special bottle of Jack. Not quite that price, but it's going to be up there for a little while. But yeah, I'm going to buy myself a bottle of that. I probably should just do that now. What are they on? They got... Oh, there's only one size. I kind of want to just buy it. Matured in ex-sherry fortified wine cask. From Jerez in Spain, El Sol is a well-rounded, rich, smooth and complex whiskey celebrating the bright summer sun. The oak casks previously used for maturing a variety of sherries such as Oloroso, Pedro, all these words, wank, 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 wank. It imparts a luscious and full-textured profile to this single malt. El Sol boasts an enticing aroma of flavors and dried fruits. You know what's going to happen, though? You know what's going to happen? I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to be like, hold on a second. What else have they got in their single malt range? They've got a Quagmire. They've got a Fusion. I'm going to have to try them all, aren't I? Fuck, there's too many dudes. They're all sold out there anyway. There's a tasting. 500ml bottles. Oh, that could be interesting. 200 mils. There you go. You get the El Sol and you get the Fusion and the Invicta. Anyway, it's something to think of. Sherry casks sounds rad. Lizzie was cool. Hang in there. Do you know what happened? Let me tell you this. When I got back to my sister's place, that was my first stop on the return journey. Poopsie saw it and was like, Uncle Benny, can I have Lizzie back? I was like, what do you mean back? Like, you gave it to me for my birthday. She said, no, it's mine. I put it in as like for you to see that, because she does have these soft squidgy. She's like, no, it's my one. I put it in there just so that you could take Lizzie on a trip. I was like, oh. And then I was trying to palm her off, and I'm like, no, I'll get it later. We're busy because me and James were working on the van. I was like, I'll get it later. We're busy working, come back later. She kept coming back, and she wouldn't take no for an answer. And eventually I was like, okay, I'll get it. So I took it off and gave it back to her. And she's like, thank you, Uncle Benny. Lizzie now returns home. And I was like, okay, cool. And then 2 days later, she comes back to me and she goes, Uncle Benny, you were right. That wasn't Lizzie. That was another one that we gave Mum bought for you, and I was going to give it to you. Lizzie's here, and she had both of them, and I was like, thank you. So can I get that one back? But she still didn't give it to me. She still kept it. But that was funny. That was really DM, right, during Mardi, when on my birthday day, that was pretty lame, actually. That day, the truck stop, all that shit, that was just that was a real shitty birthday. Whatever, shit happens, but then we moved on, and we had a good time after that. But that actual day of my birthday was just awful. Your birthday went not good. Yeah, it's just so, yeah. I still can't really. That was the first time I was like, wow, man, let's just pull over here, dude. Like, let's just set up camp. Like, we got a 4-wheel drive. We can camp wherever the fuck we want. We're in Australia, dude. We can. What? We got to go to a truck stop? What are you talking about, man? You want to go and stay at a truck stop outside of Wilcannia? We could go in the morning, dude. We don't have to go now. Like, I want to set up and open up my birthday presents and drink whiskey with a campfire. Like, you want to force us to go to Wilcannia and get fuel and then go to a truck stop. I was like, I don't get it, man. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I probably should have put my foot down. I probably should have said, you know what, man? It's my fucking day. We're doing what I want to do. Imagine if I had done that. Imagine I had got forceful about it. I'm not that kind of person, but I could have. It's my birthday. I could have said, dude, I don't want to do that on my birthday. But at that point, it was just easier just to go, okay, man, we'll just do that. If you really want that, then we'll do that. It was hard to watch. I'm sure it was. And I will say this, Flo and Elsa are in the chat. Yeah, I'll say this, man. You, as much as it might be unbelievable, and you might think that I did it on purpose, when we were at the truck stop and the audio was wrong, that was not intentional. That was not intentional at all. That was one of the times when I first realized that the switcher to choose the audio source, it's quite a finicky. Well, it's a few steps to get to it, but then you've actually got to press the button in, and the selection on screen goes from a blue highlight to a yellow highlight, or other way, maybe yellow to blue. But it wasn't intentional. And when I came back to it and saw that the chat was saying no audio, I was like, so that's been like that since we got here. And I was like, well, that's actually a bit of a blessing, because you dudes, I mean, you caught it all later on anyway, right, in Alice, but that shit was just awesome. Resentment is never good. It festers. A perceived insult, those last. A perceived insult. A perceived insult. That sounds nice. A perceived insult. Yeah, but that was certainly a strange thing to happen at the end of that day. There were two things about that was concerning. The first was that we had such a good time with Louth at that pub with those locals. That was so cool, right? Those local guys, the sheep shearers. I've still got a video that he sent me. The sheep, The head sheep shearer sent me one of his shearing videos. That was pretty cool. Yeah, we had such a good time there, and we ate that stupid chicken roll thing, and it was good. Like, and then it was like, now we've got to drive to the campsite that we were going to stay at. But then when we got to the, and I don't know if the stream saw this, but there was a turn off to the campground or to the area of camping, and from that turn off, it was still, I think it was close to 60 k's round trip back, and that's when the idea of the fuel became noteworthy. I said to Marty, hey man, we can either take this left and go down to this camp area, whatever, I can't remember the name of it, but we are then going to be pushing relatively low on fuel, but we will still make it to Wilcannia to fill up. Or we could just forsake that campground and just keep heading towards Wilcannia and find a free camp somewhere willy-nilly, like we did on the border of whatever. Or was that before that? Might have been before that. Yeah, we could just find our own spot. And so Marty said, yeah, let's just, instead of going this way that's going away from where we want to go, we'll just keep going towards Wilcannia and we'll just get a spot. And so as we kept driving, the sun was getting lower and lower. I was like, man, can we just pull up somewhere? Like, we don't have to keep driving. Like, and that's when Marty was like, well, how far till Wilcannia? Like, and I was like, oh, it's whatever. We don't need to go there today. We can fuel up tomorrow. We can stop now. Like, we can stop now and have a good time in the afternoon anywhere, or we could push forward and go through Wilcannia in the evening, which was not something that we should have done, according to Perdsky and according to internet news, let's just say. But we don't need to. We can just find a spot now. Like, we've got a 4-wheel drive. We just pull up somewhere, man. Let's just, it's my birthday. Let's just pull up and open up the presents and have a good time. But for some reason, he wouldn't do it. And I was like, man, what? Why? Like, what? Why can't we just? Why are you so? And he's like, well, the options outside of Wilcannia is a truck stop. And I think that was in the PDF as well, that there was a truck stop. I was like, yeah, but it's a truck stop. Like we could find a water hole or a big valley and what, like, we got the 4-wheel drive, dude. Basically it became an issue, and at some point it became such an issue that there was no potential to resolve it. It was like, no, we're doing this, and it was Marty saying we're doing this. I was like, okay. Yeah, it's a shame, because that could have been a pretty rad ending to a pretty rad day. But I will say this in Marty's favor. He did say after we resolved it and we made up, he said it was a bad choice. He said let's never do a truck stop again. And I was like, yes, he gets it. I agree, Marty. Let's never do a truck stop ever again on this trip. So he did get it. And that's why I say I think he might have just been a bit green to it all. Like, I think that was like day 5 or day 4 or something, and I don't think he was. I don't know if he's really done much like free camping, just like driving out into some. Because I remember the conversations about crown land. Do you remember he was talking about what's crown land and what's freehold land? This is how I've always done it. If you're out somewhere and there's a road, just drive up it and go anywhere. If there's no fencing, just drive on. You're always going to be on someone's land, right? There's no land that someone doesn't own. It's always going to be somebody's. Now, here in the city and in the suburbs, you can't just drive up a road and park up. I mean, you can, but the houses are quite close by. But out there, it's the fucking outback, dude. Like, you got that drive could go for 5Ks, could go for 10Ks. Just keep going until you can't see anything. Take a left, find a spot. So yeah, I don't think Marty had done that before. And and it was unfortunate that it happened on my birthday. But there was paranoia about the locals and running out of fuel. A bad brew for bad decisions for sure, Dale. Yeah. By the way, Benon, remember Maria from the stream before you left? She died. Maria, the streamer on DLive, the one that got the love with DLive after saying no, anyone that streams on DLive is a fool. That Maria, she died. Shit, dude. Wow. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh shit, what did she die of, dude? Fuck, man. Wow. All right, what we don't want to do here, a brain tumor. Holy shit, dude. Well, condolences to the rest of the Maria family. I don't know her, but I know of her, obviously. And yeah, so we were making fun of her because of that big 180 she did about DLive. I just thought you should know. Thank you, man. Now I'm just gonna say it. Is that confirmed or is it some kind of ruse? Streamers do all kinds of weird shit. She did famously say DLive, who would fucking stream there, and then she got paid to stream there, so all of a sudden it's all good. So I'm just saying, like, is it confirmed or is it just this breaking news kind of thing? She died recently. Like, how recently? Like today, yesterday? Instinctly, I'm just thinking it could just be 100% confirmed without seeing a certificate of death. Okay, she passed. Okay, so it seems like it's legit. All right. Okay. Well, condolences, and I mean, yeah, nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. It's a shame. We're all gonna do it though. But yeah, I just hope that she gets remembered. Does it? Yeah, she should be remembered for the good, not the sketchy bad, whatever that. Yeah. Sensitive. Here we are talking about basically shit that doesn't really matter in the end scheme of things, and then now there's death. All right, let's change it slightly back to the trip. Thank you for letting me know, though, Dale. Thank you for letting me know. I noticed, which was a little surprising, didn't see very many kangaroos out there. In Australia, we have the eastern grey and we have the big red, which is the big red is like the big gnarly kangaroos. The ones that you see, they have the big chest puff out and they get aggressive. Those are the guys that are like, apparently they're roaming across this country in packs. Didn't see many at all. Only saw a few dingoes. Where was that? Who'd the dad of the track? Dingo. Marty saw Marty spotted it. No, we both saw it, but Marty saw it first. Yeah, I thought there would have been more dingoes. I thought there would have been way more kangaroos. We saw heaps of emus. Didn't see a single I'm about to say dingo again. I meant to say camel. Didn't see a single camel at all on the trip. Not once, which is strange. Like I said, in Queensland, AM saw heaps of frogs. Some of the best frogs experiences I've had. The mountain wallabies, the rock wallabies, Dale, that was special. Felt like I was dreaming. Dude, that was, yeah, that there's instances on the stream that are gonna stick with me for a while. That one there at Ackerman Campground in the Flinders Ranges. The Flinders, dude, I could go back there in a heartbeat. That place was so sick. I'd drive across there just to go to the Flinders again, man, and then not go up to Uluru, but just come back. That was so rad, man. Far out. Bunyonero Road. Me and Marty had the beer on that picnic table that time right there on the... So sick. Great campgrounds. Ackerman campground. Beautiful, beautiful spot. And the rock wallabies. Yeah, dude. And I took a jack up there on the hill and sat there. Oh, the sun was like just sort of tipping over the edge of this. And it was just this beautiful light. And I could look back down on the campground and I could see Marty faffing around doing his thing. That was so awesome. And then when I got back down, he'd taken the chairs up onto the roadside and was sitting there just looking at the sunlight draping itself down the mountainside. Fuck, that was amazing. Do you know what we needed to do? And it needed to be. We probably did. We bit too much off. So, like I said at the beginning of this stream, if I could do it again, don't go with someone that's not into the streaming thing. Don't do that. That's bad. Also, you need to do more longer form, like, how do you say this? Instead of driving every day to a new campsite, you need to stay put for 2 to 3 days. So it might be better to do one longer drive instead of, like we were saying, let's just do 400Ks max, but it might be better to do one, say 600K drive and then stay in a place for 3 days. That's another way to look at it, right? Like and you've got 2 drivers, so you could bite off a bigger chunk of the drive and you split it up. And then when you get to the spot, you set up and you stay. Because I know that was pissing Marty off. And I think if he had have said, let's pull it right back and slow it down, you know what would have happened though? This is the irony of it. He left when he still had a week and a half of his time that he sort of said he could do. So if we had stayed in places such as the Flinders Ranges, if we had stayed there for like say 5 days in total, then he might not have even got to the rock. But then the trouble is there's just too much to see. There's too much to see. Too much to see. I'm ignoring the Opal comment. How about this, Dale? If you ever get your I don't even know if you are beautiful. I was going to say, if you ever get your beautiful butt to Australia, I'll take you. We'll go to CUintheNTEEE. We'll do the same trip that we just did, but we won't keep going. But no, then you'll be like, fuck you, Australian. You're gonna take me to CUintheNTEEE and we're not gonna go to the rock. Fuck you. We're gonna keep going to the rock. And I'll be like, okay. By the way, how come every time we filled up with fuel, I always got the deer one, right? I got the Curtin Springs one. I got the other one that was like $2.98. I did notice that actually. It was like, and I'm being stupid, but it was like, whenever Marty went to fill up, it was like, it's only $1.84 here. I paid $2.50 before. It's like, just saying. It's like, I was looking at my bank account. Oh, and that's when I don't know if you guys saw this on the stream or not, but there was just a stupid banking situation that I got myself into. I was putting money aside for this trip, so every week I'd take $100 and I'd just chuck it into a different account, and the account was part of my ANZ account, my main banking account. Turns out that it wasn't. It was through another company called CRM. And when I went in there to try to transfer the money across, it's like, you can't do it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't transfer my money from one account to another. What are you, like, what? I have to ring them up and they're like, oh, you got to do this and that. Oh, fuck off. Give me my fucking money. I remember sitting there in Uluru or Yalara, like on the phone to this person saying, dude, why is this so difficult? Every week I've been putting money into this account. Now I want to take that money and put it into this account in bulk so I can use it. Do it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Put my fucking money into this account. I'm on the phone. Marty's out there he went to do some stuff in the town. He went and saw a friend of the. You guys didn't even see this, but he knew someone in Yulara, someone who'd lived there for 15 years, and he's going off to talk to her. And I'm in the fucking van in a car park going, "Give me my fucking money, dudes. What are you talking about? I don't want to be on this phone call. I do not want to waste any more of my time. I just want my money that I can use. I don't care how you do it." And he's like, this is a derivative of the ANZ. I don't give a fuck what it is, dude. It was easy for me to put it in. Make it easy for me to take it back out. I got so angry that day. I don't know if that was on the stream or not, but my God, I was fuming. Hendrik in the house. How you doing, man? It's good to see you've processed it all and are comfy with it. Oh man, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with everything, except what I'm not fine with is that I'm now getting the silent treatment. I'm not fine with that, but that's what's happened now. Mind you, it's only been since the 11th of October. It's been a while though. That's enough time to sort of pick up a phone. This brew is it's so good, but it's going to be finished. Yeah, so that was an interesting day. Giving some time and space. How much time and space? I mean, obviously I will, but I don't know how long, how long does he need? I guess it is Marty we're talking about. It takes him 700 years to. Oh, dude, I gotta tell you this. No, not throwing any shade to Marty here, but I gotta tell you this. Where were we? Is it Red Bank Gorge? Yeah, Red Bank Gorge. Yeah, one of the gorges. I don't know if the stream began or not. We were driving out. It was in the morning. We were leaving, and he rang his mum, having a chat, and she asked him. This is so classic Marty. She asked him, what was the exact words? I think. I wish I could remember. I can't be 100% certain if this is exactly what she asked, but it might not have been. But for the sake of this remembering, she said, "What's the temperature? What's the temperature where you are?" And Marty, he answered, the first thing he said was, "It's changed a lot since when we were in the CUintheNTEEE. They've got prevailing winds that come from there, and they kind of sweep up across the land. And it seems like most of their weather comes from this open area, and it's so flat, and the desert." And I was driving, and he was driving. No, I was driving, and by the way, we're on a dirt road, so we're driving pretty slow. We were driving around a campground. We were looking at the other campground. There were the campground that we stayed at, the ridge top. Then there was one called the tree top, something to do with trees. And we were driving around there having a look. And I was driving slowly, and I was just listening to Marty, and he's like, he went so far around actually answering the question. She asked him, "What's the temperature?" He could have answered with a number. It's 24. It's 33. It's 18. But he didn't. And he never gave her a number, an answer. But he talked all about the prevailing winds down in CUintheNTEEE. It's like they're coming up and they're sweeping up across the country, and now we're out here, and we've just been through Uluru, and it's like the wind just keeps coming around and following us, and this and that. And I was just driving like, is he going to actually answer? I don't think he's going to answer her. And I brought it up with him later on. I was like, "Marty, do you remember you talking to your mum this morning? She asked you what's the temperature. Do you remember your answer?" And he's like, "No, I don't remember exactly my answer." I was like, "You didn't actually give her an answer. You gave her a whole discussion about the weather patterns in Australia, but not the answer to the question." She's like, "Yeah, that's the Upham way, though. That's how she knows. She knows." That was pretty funny, hey? I mean, everybody's different. Like, every family's different. Every family's got their own little, you know, intricacies and like things. And I'm sure my family, I mean, fuck, man, we're German and English heritage. We've probably got all kinds of confusion. You know, there's heaps of that shit that goes around. But that one was like, dude, just answer your mother. She just wants to know what the temperature is. But the thing is, I don't think she even knew that she wasn't getting the answer, because they're family, right? They're both Uphams. So she was aware. Oh, that's what I asked him. I remember saying, because he still swears when he talks to his mum. Like, he'll talk to her. He's, hey, fuck, mum, how are you? And he'll be like, it's fucking hot out here. Well, he didn't say that, but something about whatever. It's fucking, the gorges are fucking amazing. The swimming, fucking, and I was like, dude, you talk like that to your mother as well? It's like, yeah, it's like, she's the one that raised you though. Didn't she teach you not to swear? No, but she did, but then she gave up. Some of those rippled roads were, oh, dude, you actually, Dale, I gotta say, and both Marty and I were a bit. I said Marty was green to the free camping stuff. I'm green to the four-wheel driving stuff, right? I'm green to what's the best sort of PSI and what's the best way to handle these corrugated or washboard roads. Well, we found out pretty slowly. It took us a long time to try it, but originally we were driving at like, man, I think we got down to like 60k an hour. So like super slow, right? And then someone in the chat said, I think it was Doug, said, did you lower your air pressure? I was like, no, we didn't do that. Ah, you idiot. Lower it, man. So we lowered it. And then 2 days later, it was like, oh, you should also try speeding up. So now you've got lower tire pressure, and now you should speed up so that you just, instead of going into the corrugations, you just tap across them. You got suspension, right? I've got brand new suspension. So there's no problem for the vehicle. Like, well, there was a problem for the vehicle. I'll tell you the problem that arose from that. I'll tell you that in a second. But yeah, it took us way too long to work that shit out. And when we did, we realized that we could have been driving at about 80k an hour and maintaining quite a smooth run. It's pretty funny, eh? The tree trunk. Oh, that white tree trunk, the white gum at Trafina Gorge. Dude, that was sick. Family dynamics are quite interesting. Yeah. Dugsky suggesting the reduced tire pressure was spot on. Yeah, he nailed it. And we obviously have the 12 volt, you know, we could pump them back up, like no dramas, but we just didn't do it. I just didn't, like, in my mind it was like, oh, this road's shit, go slower. No, drop your tire pressure, go down to like 18 psi and speed up, and everything is smooth. Okay, you might not be getting as much fuel economy, but, you know, that came later, by the way, the fuel economy. I worked it out. I got 547 Ks to the tank. 547, dude. We barely got 300 coming up from Sydney up to the Blue Mountains. You got to sit at 2,000 RPM. 2,000. 2,000. Yeah. About 80k an hour. So what happened after all the corrugations? There was an issue. The issue, and this, by the way, I haven't really discussed this because we couldn't, because the streams died. So this is obviously well and truly AM after Marty, well and truly. It was the day after, or was it the day before? It was the day before the last stream. So the day before I realized I had no more power. And so I noticed that, and this was really hard to work out too, because the shunt never ever showed me an arrow pointing up. So on the heads-up display of this battery shunt, which is basically a device that reads the voltage and tells you when your alternator is giving power back into the batteries, and it gives you a percentage readout of your battery life. But even from day one, when we left Kingsgrove, where Marty lives, I never, ever, ever saw an up arrow. I only ever saw an arrow going down. So it always said it's draining the batteries. It never said it's putting power back in. Now, you might say, well, was the alternator actually working? Yes, it was, because you could look at the BCDC and see the little red vehicle light on. And if it wasn't working, there's no way we would have got through, up till that point, 40 or 38 days of live streaming. It just wouldn't have happened. But what happened was, at some point, I looked over at the BCDC. This is, like I said, well and truly AM after Marty. And that vehicle light wasn't coming on. And so I pulled up, and I remember I called James and said, hey, just a quick question. The vehicle light isn't coming on the BCDC. So whenever I'm driving, I'm not putting a charge back into the batteries. And I can verify that because there's the light's not on. And he's like, grab your multimeter and check. And I was like, grab my what? He's like, your multimeter. And I was like, I don't have one. He's like, okay, you got no tools? No tools. So, okay. So we need to check a fuse. And I'm like, I didn't even have a wrench, a socket set. Spanners. I didn't take any of that. I don't even own any of that shit. I do now, but I didn't then. I took every single conceivable live streaming hardware tech style. Like, I took extra cables, I took backup, I took power bank, I took everything you could imagine. I even took my laptop just in case the Stream Deck, the Live View Solo, and I needed to use OBS. I did everything that you could possibly imagine for live streaming, but I didn't bring a fucking spanner. So I had to go to some shithole town and pick up from Bunnings. So I bought a spanner set. Anyway, what I was trying to get at was that the reason the vehicle light on the BCDC was never coming on was because the fuse in line with, which is what James installed it, that fuse had been rattled so gnarly, so much rattling around, that it actually had broken the inside of the fuse just because of the movement of the corrugations. So enough driving on washboard roads can potentially fuck up your electrics. And that happened. And when we took that fuse out, when I bought a multimeter and the spanner set, we tested it. He's like, the fuse is blown, dude. And it's not, and you might say, well, you couldn't tell the fuse. It's not one of those ones that you look at. It's one of those black ones. I'll show you what it looks like. One of these kind of, I'll just go BCDC fuse. Yeah, one of these kind of black ones like this. See these? One of these ones. So you can't tell that they're broken unless you put a multimeter on either end. So yeah, that shit. Like, and now I have the socket set, and I have the spare fuses, and I have all that stuff. And sorry, Hendrik, to answer your question, is the shunt working? I ripped that shit out and threw it in the bin, dude. When I got back to Sydney, in fact, before James said to me, I don't know how good, like, how's your financial situation, because I'd spent everything on petrol, but I had enough, and I was like, and James said, you should just buy. Funnily enough, you should just buy the Red Arc one. I'll show you what I bought. Battery chargers? No. I'll just do a search for battery. This smart battery monitor. This is literally the replacement. I bought that for $300. Bought that for $300, and it's on your phone now, so you have the information on your phone. I also bought a new BCDC, dudes. I updated this right here. Get out of there. I bought this, the BCDC Alpha. This is unique because this device takes, like what I've got in my van right now. I haven't done it yet, but I'll take it out and sell it. Someone will buy it. What I've got is a 50 amp hour BCDC, which is sick, but this is another 51. However, this one has a unique proposition. This uses advanced technology to charge your auxiliary and start batteries. It's the only DC-DC charger that can both charge and recover your start battery. If you use excess solar power to maintain or revive a start battery, so what I'm saying is, and by the way, this would have been an absolute godsend in the Stevan days when the starter battery was drained for whatever the reason. This thing would be what I needed. I've never had a problem with my starter battery in GoVan, but this BCDC will help if that ever did come down to the starter battery drain as well as the auxiliaries. You can use the solar panels to charge them up. And it also comes with an app on your phone so you can check. So you haven't got to be driving and looking at a light. You can just look at your phone. Not that you're meant to. Live and learn, bro. Yeah, exactly, Dale. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, all these things are now, they're now part of, well, it took this trip to get me to realize all this stuff. I've also put up a second solar panel on the roof. Funnily enough, the same solar panel that I had up there, so I've already got one. The first one that King's, or that 4-wheel drive Supercenter shipped me, was bent and smashed, and so I'd never used it, and they sent me another one. But now I'm going to I've already done it, put the second one up there, just whatever. 2 solar panels on the roof. Starlink Mini will take place at the back there. I got rid of the DJI transmission that's being shipped back right now. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll get the Mini and we'll go from there. And I guess what I'm going to do right now is take a whiz. Did DJI refund you? Yes, Hendrik. I sort of mentioned this earlier, but I'll recap right now. DJI. So originally, not originally. Initially, they said we'll give you we'll refund you minus 20% restocking fee. And I was like, you know what? That's not law. Law under Australian consumer law. You need to refund 100% for a product that doesn't work as advertised. And I sent them the links to the ACCC website. I sent them links to countless times on my stream where it fucked up. And so, yeah, I sent it back, and they're hopefully going to be giving me a full refund. Yeah. I just want to highlight, I want to sort of show you guys on my YouTube channel, for those that haven't seen them, if you go to Gives a Minute to Hold My Girl. Shit, okay. It used to come up as you typed it. Gives a Mibute. if you go to my channel, I've got, if you go to the videos tab, Darling River Campground. So if you click on that, it's in a playlist. Don't I see the playlist here? Huh. I thought it used to come up. Where's the playlist it's in? Okay, don't do it that way. Do it this way. Go to playlists. Daily vlogs from the Uluru live streaming mission, updated 5 days ago. This playlist here. Oh, you got ads now.
Hello, the internet.
Hello, the internet. This playlist here is all the daily content. Why is it not in order? It should be in order. Anyway, this is the start of it. Holy shit, that's had 700 views. That's day 2. Will all that beer fit in this van? Dude, there's the
Hello, the internet.
Hello, the internet. Is that coming out of?
It is Friday.
Oh. Yeah, so what I was trying to explain is this playlist, and I'll give it in the chat here. Share this playlist. Why can't I just share the playlist? Shuffle playlist. Why can't YouTube. Okay, fuck. Go back here to playlists. Can I just get the playlist? Here we go. Share this playlist. This is what I wanted to do. Copy. So this playlist is going to feature 43. I'll also put it in all the chats. It's in all the chats now. So that playlist is going to feature all of the daily vlogs from the road. So every day there is new content. Not every day. Sorry, hang on. It won't come to you every day, but there is every day I shot content. So I'm up to day 5 right now. I'm taking my time going through it. So that should be interesting. I feel like there's something wrong with my mic. Is my mic good? The link works. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, man. Yeah, I strongly suggest you look at them from day one, and go through each of them and process. Sound is 5x5. Interesting. Yeah, okay. It just sounds sort of like a little echoey. I don't know. Maybe my mic's lower or something. It's not a big deal. You know me, being a perfectionist. You know what I don't like? This chat. This chat on screen is way too small. I'll have to check that out later. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up here soon. Yeah, we're gonna call it a day. This ain't no see you in the NT 10-hour stream marathon. We're going to call it, I guess we'll call it here. I am working tomorrow on a Sunday. That's cool. I'm stoked about that, actually. Bathing naked at Camp Wambalong is so cold. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. There's plenty. Yeah, okay. I'll leave you guys with that. So I'll leave you guys now. You guys can go ahead and watch that playlist. Go ahead and watch them. Start at day 1. And go through and watch them. Enjoy yourselves. And I'll see you guys sometime soon, yeah? Sounds good. Welcome back home safe and sound. Thank you, Dale. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Appreciate you.